Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between. Welcome back to another episode of GEEXX Reads. Gonna be a little break from the usual stuff today. Today I'd like to talk about the book Hi Honey, I'm Homo by Matt Baume, an image of which you will see here and there. um, the break from this is more of like a coffee table book. It's not a novel. The author Matt Baume was or is, I suppose, but a closeted gay man. Well, he was closeted back like the mid 90s. Came across some reruns of like old sitcoms um, that had gay characters in them, and got specifically the TV show Soap, which had a main character who was gay, um, and got really excited about looking at old TV shows and movies and media, to see what gay characters there were, and started researching it. This is a collection of a lot of his research into various TV shows. Chapter 1 is about the TV show Bewitched, which aired in 1964. You might think, Bewitched isn't about gay people. It's about a witch who marries a husband and marries a normal person, a husband, Darren, and they kind of live in the suburbs. But it was probably one of the queerest shows on television prior to the current date for a couple of reasons. One of which, the fact that they're living secretly amongst normal people, having to hide what they are. There's a lot of gay subtext in Bewitched. And it's there on purpose because several of the actors on the show, I believe one of the actors who played the husband Darren was gay. It was a closeted gay man. Paul Lynde, who played Uncle Albert, he was gay. There was a lot of gay members in the cast and in the writing room. So this is a very queer show. Bewitched in 1964 was a very queer show. As someone who grew up watching all these shows that he mentions, I was a little kid when I was watching Bewitched. I never noticed any of the gays. I knew that Uncle Albert was flamboyant, but beyond that, what did I know? Um, but for me, who grew up watching shows like this, there was an episode. He goes through a lot of other sitcoms of the era. There's a recurring gay character, well, a transvestite in All in the Family. Archie Bunker rescues a woman, who passes out in his cab, gives her mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, takes her to the hospital. He's very proud of himself for saving this, this woman who at the end of the show, reveals to Archie that it's a man in a dress. He's a transvestite. But that character comes back multiple times. They're invited to Thanksgiving dinner. Edith is great friends with this person. There's a couple of bad moments. Archie doesn't always treat this person very well. So, but the character themselves is never treated badly by the writing staff, which I greatly enjoyed. Going back and, because I when I was a kid watching All in the Family, I never noticed this stuff. There was a recurring gay character on The Barney Miller Show, which was a cop show. There was a character who was a recurring character who was a pickpocket. He was always in the holding cell in the precinct. There was a gay episode of Alice, MASH. What else on the? What else? These are all shows he goes over in the book. So there was a gay episode. Cheers, Golden Girls, obviously. Friends. One of the characters? The one played by Matthew Perry, I think, was supposed to be gay. I don't remember his name. I never watched Friends. Shoot me. But this book goes in detail of the individual chapters for Bewitched, All in the Family, Alice, Barney Miller, Soap, Cheers, The Golden Girls, the TV show Dinosaurs, Friends, Ellen, because of Ellen's coming out. Will and Grace was obviously very gay, but it kind of, it goes through the decades, kind of going towards the modern era, and the Modern Family, as the final chapter, going through all this stuff. And as I said, for me, growing up, watching all these shows, I never really caught on. You know, I never really figured out a lot of subtext. I didn't know a lot of what went on behind the scenes, about how some of the show's creators really struggled to put these shows on the air, and how to put, you know, and how these shows struggled to portray gay people as human. And sometimes they succeeded and sometimes they failed. There's a lot, there's obviously more stories than this. This is his debut novel. I wouldn't call it a novel. Like I said, it's a coffee table book. These little individual chapters, which do, you know, it gives you the background story of the show and the characters that he wants to talk about. But because I grew up watching, especially the older stuff, like All in the Family and MASH and Cheers and Soap and Bewitched, and the fact that these shows did these things way back in the 60s and 70s, it makes me think of all the people these days that are decrying, you know, go woke or go broke. Woke ruins everything. They're trying to shove the gay agenda down our throats. And like, this stuff's been there all along. It's not new. You just ignored it all, or there wasn't. There's more of it today, yes, and not all the representation today is great. I do think there's a lot more. Today's stuff, there's a lot more tokenism at today's, like in the eras that these shows were being made, there was a huge outcry. People tried to get these shows taken off the air, these episodes taken off the air because of the positive portrayal, or attempts of positive portrayal of gay people. But I think back then, because the actors wanted to tell these stories, this was about the writers and the actors wanting to tell a good story. A lot of stuff you could point out these days is just the studios realizing, oh, we can make money by having gay people in our shows. So there is some tokenism today, but it's hard to tell the tokenism from the actual. Well, if it's well written, it's not tokenism. If there's sort of gay character in the background and have them blink once, and that's their whole thing, that's tokenism. But yeah, so people are a lot more accepting. So there is more gay content today, but it's been there all along. And that's kind of one of the things that made me really enjoy Matt Baume's work, is going back and watching and relearning stuff that I missed before. So if you're an old fart like me, you know, going back to look at this stuff can be a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this little walk down memory lane for me. And if you're, you know, younger, you know, if you're a baby gay, I'd highly recommend this stuff, because it lets you know that this stuff's always been here, that there's a history there. I guess that's important. I don't guess it's important. I know it's important for anybody. Doesn't matter what your culture is or who you are, what your identity is. You know, everyone wants to know that they matter and that there's something there. I don't know. It's got a little deeper than I usually do. I rarely go this deep. Usually I'm a goofball. I'm still a goofball. My one criticism for this piece of work, Matt Baume got his start on YouTube. He has a YouTube channel where he does the exact same thing as this. And if reading's not your thing, this is just his YouTube channel in book form. That's my one criticism. That's how I got introduced to Matt Baume. I was perusing YouTube and the algorithm threw this in my face. And it's like, well, the episode I watched was his coming out video, because he kind of came out during his friends watching Rocky Horror Picture Show. I love Rocky Horror Picture Show. So, you know, I was interested I wanted to watch Rocky Horror Picture Show stuff he was going to talk about. But, so I started watching his stuff, but to be sure, I read the chapter on Bewitched, and then I went and watched his video, and the content is essentially the same. There's some rearranging of some of the phrases and words. So there's, you know, that's my criticism, that there's nothing really new in the book. I mean, there's the foreword, the acknowledgments, the afterword. So there is some content here, but the actual chapters themselves, where the episodes and the TV shows he talks about, it's kind of this the same as what his YouTube channel is. I hate Matt Baume, I hate to bash you, but I was kind of hoping for a little bit more. I am not disappointed that I spent the money on it. I love his content. Didn't mind throwing a few extra bucks his way. You know, the guy does good work. I want to support him. So I'm not disappointed I bought the book itself. If for no other reason, that one, I support someone whose work I support. And two, just having this on the table out in the living room, for people to walk in and see, and they're like, what the hell is Tuna reading? You know, I love messing with people that way. Little subtle things, nothing loud or overt. I like being quiet and subtle about my weirdness sometimes. So yeah, whether you buy the book, which I would recommend because it supports him much more than YouTube ever will. But if you don't have time to read, well, the book is on Audible. I know that much because I was trying to find that picture. The image came up. I had Homo Audible, so you can get on Audible if you don't want to read. You can listen to it on the way to work, or if you're cheap and don't have the money, watch his YouTube channel. There's a lot more on his YouTube channel than these 8 or 9 chapters. His YouTube channel goes on to talk about closeted gay actors in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, about the troubles they faced. Talks about other shows besides the ones that are mentioned here. You know, yeah, I'd recommend it just for the history part of it, you know, to find out about the shows that we watched when we were younger and stuff that went on behind the scenes for the making of the episodes, and the fact that these episodes existed and we didn't, and I never noticed it. So highly recommend it. Definite A, in my opinion, as far as material. Only criticism is that I would have liked there to have been a bit more than there is on the YouTube channel. As always, thanks for watching. If you like this content, I don't know what to tell you, dude. Go torture yourself with my other stuff. I'm bad at self-promotion. And until next time, good hunting.